They say that a messy desk is a sign of genius. Whoever the fuck they are. Well, I got a fucking mess going. This little project, which we'll go over and take a look at in a second, was a lot of bullshit. There's our chic goods breakdown section with the Festool tracks off. There's the fucking desk, loaded with shit, all fucked up, all messy, because shit just gets out of control once you start doing things, especially when you're improvising the whole job, because there is no plan. Where is Exhibit A? That's the pile with the vacuum attached. Here's what the vacuum's attached to. That bitch is full. What was doing there was cutting grooves out of the back of plywood like that. 120 feet worth. And with that stacking dado setup, the vacuum, the dust collector couldn't keep up to 5 blades. Anyway, I guess the office is a mess too. Just shit everywhere. The other project I'm starting, when I'm done with this one, is buried under this fucking plank. Someone came in and stacked my plywood against these 2 benches. And that's what that plank was on. And that's what the other project was on. And I came in and the fucking plywood knocked it over. We call that retardation. The pile of Festool shit, another work table. BTP, what were you working on? Let's go next door. We're creeping up on the end of the laundromat. What I was working on was that wooden facade right there. You see where the wall stopped, then it was empty space for the washing machine. So my task was to make it look like these washing machines are up against the wall. It's just a facade. Let's go see how I got to where I am. That ended up looking pretty nice. I gave my idea for the flooring transitions to our metal guy, and he took my idea and fucking made it for real. That's why I like turning tasks over to the trades that do the shit. I glued all of this shit down though. Massive amount of adhesive. Solid as a rock. Anyway. So the facade. This plywood is up in a groove. I put a groove down this whole 2x6. 60 feet down the wall. Then each piece of plywood, I cut to size, and I made it, and we see down there, I had to adjust it for each washing machine and put a lip. There's also a groove back here. that this plywood sits in to keep it all straight and snug. And then with pocket holes, I just popped this plywood up into the groove just. Yeah, that was easy too. Around all these fucking hoses. And this is holding my seams together where the plywood meets nice and snug and tight. Each piece with its own little trickery. Then we got to the higher washing machines. Had to cut shit. Again. And the biggest pain in the balls was all these fucking screws in these machines. Each one of these cuts had to be scribed to the back of these machines. It didn't have to be perfect. It just had to look like a wall from the front. But it's solid. It's not going to fall. Then these two machines drop down. The biggest pain in the ass was making these little blocks right here not look retarded from the other side. This was a fucking nightmare. But that's what I dreamed up. Of course, everyone's crying and telling me what I would adjust. That's my favorite thing when people say, after a job is done, they tell me what they just would have did. Just. Again, we're fucking solid as fuck. Nothing's gonna move. I just need it fucking okay on the trim piece out front. Oh, and you gotta walk every piece back here around this thing. That's the trough for the water for all of the fucking washing machines. They get dumped off into that, blah, blah, blah. Again, about those pieces that were a pain in the ass, like that little corner piece right there. The wall isn't plumb, but who gives a shit? That was impossible. I can't see what, oh, there we go. These little pieces were the biggest pain in the ass. May not seem it, but the screws in the back of the machine really fucked with me. And that's all she gets. Oh, and the trim piece up top. We're waiting for the fucking approval. They were going to text me last night, one way or the other. This is what I want to go with, just to straighten out the line the whole way down with 3/4, because the wall is really wavy. So this is going to be my bailout, which we're probably going to go with, because no one's looked for anything else. They don't have fucking time. And here's the idea with the lip in the back. When anything falls, they can be gotten. Anybody pushes anything back there, it can be had. Anyway, that's what that mess is from. The twin spin laundromat's almost ready to go. Oh, the next project is where I'm gonna fucking be miserable. I have it already built. What's going to happen is there's going to be a piece of that strip lighting embedded in this wood right here, and plexiglass in the wood going down the whole thing with a little light in it. And then my trim pieces are just going to be plywood, and this bottom has to be built, and that bottom is going to follow those rivets. And that's going to be my adjustment to make it all look like it's square. I gotta sign off.